Next topic is not Global Biofuels Alliance. It is launched during the G20 summit. This alliance was launched during the G20 summit by India, US and Brazil. It is a significant step in the global energy transition, promoting the biofuels as a sustainable alternative. Next, what is its objective? To position biofuels as a key component in the global energy transition through knowledge sharing, technological advancement and also policy development. These are the key components of the alliance: sharing the knowledge and technological advancement and also the policy developments. It encourages the diversification of energy sources, reducing the reliance on fossil fuels. Key features: it focuses on the technology transfer and also collaboration among the nations, which strengthens the international cooperation for innovation in renewable energy. So this alliance is about transferring the technology and also collaboration among the nations towards the renewable energy. Simple. Just remember this. For next, economic potential. It unlocks the $500 billion opportunity in biofuels globally. It demonstrates the vast economic benefits of biofuel adoption, encouraging investments in green energy. It encourages the investment in the renewable energies. Global impact. It accelerates the adoption of biofuels worldwide, which reduces the greenhouse gas emissions and promotes the sustainable energy. It aligns with the global goals under Paris Agreement and also Sustainable Development Goal 7, which is affordable and clean energy. By this, we can achieve or reach the targets of Paris Agreement and also achieve the SDG 7. Role of G20 nations. India, US and Brazil are leading the alliance, leveraging their expertise in biofuel production and also technology. It enhances the leadership of G20 nations in shaping the global renewable energy landscape. It is not needed. And let's see challenges. High initial investment costs, as we already saw, high production costs and also infrastructure gaps for biofuel production and distribution. Calls for innovative financing and also policy mechanisms to overcome these barriers. Next, India's role. India is a key player, aims to enhance its leadership in renewable energy while meeting its national bioenergy mission goals. Next, global energy transition context. It provides a pathway to reduce dependency on fossil fuels and also it increases the focus on energy security. Let's see some questions on it. With reference to Global Biofuel Alliance, launched during the G20 summit, consider the following statements. The alliance is a collaborative effort by India, Brazil and US. Yes, statement 1 is correct. You can eliminate the option B. Next, its primary goal is to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by replacing fossil fuels with biofuels. Yes. Next, it aims to unlock the $500 billion economic opportunity in the renewable energy sector. Yes. All three are correct. Option D is the right answer. Next, which of the following initiatives in India is most aligned with the objectives of Global Biofuels Alliance? First one, National Bioenergy Mission. Yes, it is correct. Option A is the correct. As National Bioenergy Mission supports adoption of biofuels and also other renewable energy sources. We saw other policies also, which are National Policy on Biofuels and Ethanol Blended Program. These two are solely for biofuels. Here, this bioenergy mission also focuses on other renewable energy sources. So, it is aligned with the Global Biofuel Alliance. So, statement 1 is right. Next, consider the following benefits of promoting biofuels in India. What will happen by promoting biofuels? Reducing greenhouse gas emissions, reducing dependency of fossil fuels, reducing import cost of fossil fuels. Let's see the options. Reduction in the import bill for crude oil. Yes, 1 is correct. We can eliminate the option B. Employment generation in rural areas. Yes. Second one is also correct. Next, reduction of air pollution through cleaner combustion. Yes, all three are correct. Option D is the right answer. What are the key challenges to scaling up biofuel production and usage in India? First statement, high initial investment requirements. Yes, we require high investments. Next, limited availability of feedstock for biofuel production. Yes, we have to diversify the feedstock. Next, dependence on international technology for biofuel processing. Yes, this is also correct. For that only, we have joined Global Biofuel Alliance. Next, over-reliance on fossil fuels for biorefinery operations. Yes, all four are correct. Option D is the right answer. Next, which of the following statements regarding India's participation in Global Biofuel Alliance are correct? India aims to leverage its leadership in renewable energy to accelerate global biofuel adoption. Yes, first one is correct. Next, the alliance promotes biofuel usage exclusively in transportation. Not only in transportation, we can use it in electricity production and also we can use in other industries. So second one is incorrect. You can eliminate option A, C, D. So option B is the right answer. Let's see the third one also. Technology transfer is a core component of alliance. Yes, we already saw it. Option 3 is also right. So statement 3 is also right. Option B is the right answer. Next, now let's see the innovations which are in use regarding the biofuel technology. In December 2024, Spray Engineering Devices Limited partnered with Jackson Green to establish the India's first 4G ethanol plant. This facility utilizes LanzaTech's gas fermentation technology to convert the carbon dioxide and green hydrogen to produce biofuel. By using this technology, we are converting carbon dioxide and green hydrogen into biofuel. We already saw this in basics of 4G. What is its relevance? It makes a significant leap in biofuel technology and promoting sustainable energy solutions. By this plant, we can produce more biofuel and promote sustainable energy solution. Next, it is a partnership between the Spray Engineering Device Limited and Jakes Green. It is an industry collaboration for advanced renewable energy infrastructure. The technology used here is LanzaTech's gas fermentation technology to convert carbon dioxide and also green hydrogen into biofuel, reducing the greenhouse gas emissions. It is launched in December 2024. This pushes our targets towards clean energy by 2030 and also net zero targets by 2070. What is its significance? It converts industrial carbon emissions into biofuel and supports circular economy principle. Now, the industrial carbon emissions can also be used to produce the biofuels. It directly contributes to India's renewable energy goals. Next, its applications. Sustainable alternative to conventional fuels. Yes, it can replace the fossil fuels. Potential use in transport and energy sector. It also provides energy security and also reduces the import dependency. What are its environmental impacts? It reduces the carbon footprint through carbon dioxide utilization, as we are using the industrial produced carbon dioxide, such that we can reduce the carbon footprint, and also promotes the green hydrogen production. It tackles the climate change by integrating biofuels into India's renewable energy. Policy connection. It is aligned with the National Bioenergy Mission and also India's ethanol blending program. By this 4G technology, we can reach the targets of 20% by 2025 also. Next, global comparison. India joins countries like US and Germany in adopting advanced biofuel technology. And also Brazil. Brazil uses 100% ethanol based vehicles. So we can join them. Next, let's see some questions on this. With reference to recent innovations in biofuel technology in India, consider the following statements. First statement, LanzaTech's gas fermentation technology utilizes carbon dioxide and green hydrogen to produce biofuel. Yes, first one is correct. We can eliminate the option C. India's first 4G ethanol plant was established in partnership with an international organization. Those are Indian companies, not international organizations. So, second one is incorrect. We can eliminate the option D. Next, the 4G ethanol plant contributes to circular economy by converting industrial emissions into usable fuel. Yes, the carbon dioxide emissions can now be converted into biofuel. Option 1 and 3 are correct. Option B is the right answer. Next, how do biofuels contribute to environmental sustainability in India? First statement, they reduce greenhouse gas emissions by utilizing the carbon dioxide in fuel production. Yes, statement 1 is correct. They promote energy security by reducing the crude oil. Yes, this is also correct. They lead to deforestation as more land is diverted to biofuel crop cultivation. We are not converting forests to biofuel crop cultivation, so there is no scope for deforestation. So statement 3 is incorrect. 1 and 2, option A is the right answer. Which of the following initiatives or policies are directly associated with promoting the biofuels? First one, National Bioenergy Mission. Yes, it is related to biofuels. Ethanol blending program is also related. to biofuels to achieve 20% blending targets by 2025. Next, National Green Hydrogen Mission. Yes, it is also related to biofuels, as green hydrogen can be converted into biofuel. Fourth one, National Electric Mobility Mission Plan. Does not relate with biofuels, so 1 to 3, option B is the right answer. Next, consider the following statements about India's role in global biofuel innovation. First statement, India is among leading adopters of gas fermentation technology for biofuel production. Yes, first one is correct, as we are using gas fermentation technology for 4G ethanol plant. Next, the establishment of 4G ethanol plant places India at par with countries like US and Germany. Yes, statement 2 is also correct. India has achieved 20% ethanol blending target in 2024. Statement 3 is incorrect. It achieved only 15% and it targeted by 2025. Option C is the right answer. Next, which of the following statements correctly explains how 4G ethanol technology sustainability? First, it reduces carbon emissions by converting industrial carbon dioxide into biofuels. Yes, statement 1 is correct. Here we convert industrial carbon dioxide into biofuels. Next, it decreases India's reliance on conventional fossil fuels. Yes. Next, it requires agricultural land for growing biofuel crops. No, it doesn't require any agricultural land. Option 3 is incorrect, as we use industrial carbon dioxide and also green hydrogen to produce biofuels, not any agricultural crops. So statement 3 is incorrect. Option B, 1 and 2 only is the right answer. Next topic is India and Brazil cooperation related to the biofuels. It also say like Global Biofuels Alliance. It will also have same points. So let's skip this. It is not much important for exam. It will have same points as of GBA. So let's see questions. With reference to biofuels, consider the following statements. India is a founding member of Global Biofuels Alliance. Yes, India is a founding member. Biofuels are renewable energy source that helps reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Yes, it is basic point. Next, Indian government aims to achieve 20% ethanol blending petrol by 2030, not it is by 2025. So statement 3 is incorrect. Option A, 1 and 2 only is the right answer. Same points are repeating. Let's skip these questions. Let's move on to the next topic. If you want, you can read them from the PDF file. Next topic is corn imports. How biofuels are impacting the corn import. India has transitioned from being a top corn exporter to net importer due to its push for corn-based ethanol production. We know that ethanol is produced from the corn as it has a high starch content. India is used to be a top corn exporter. Now, as the corn is diverted to produce the ethanol production, it became the net importer. See how the policy shift has changed. This product from net exporter to importer. It reflects a significant policy-driven shift impacting the domestic and global corn markets. Next, the key import sources. India imports corn primarily from Myanmar and Ukraine to meet the domestic demand. The corn is imported from the Myanmar and Ukraine. It highlights the increasing dependency on international trade to fulfill the domestic agricultural needs. As we are diverting this corn to produce biofuel, we are now depending on the international trade to fulfill the domestic needs. Impact on domestic prices. Rising demand for ethanol production has increased local corn prices, adversely affecting poultry producers who rely on corn as a key feed ingredient. As the corn is diverted to produce ethanol, the corn prices has increased, and which affected the poultry which rely on corn as a key feedstock for the production. It shows the economic trade-offs between promoting ethanol production and ensuring affordability for allied industries. Because of this, the allied industries like poultry also getting affected. It means as ethanol production is increasing from corn, the prices of corn are increased and we became importers of the corn. That will also raises the prices of the corn in the local domestic. This is impacting the poultry industry, the allied industry. It also affecting the allied industries. Policy linkages. Corn-based ethanol aligns with India's national bioenergy mission and its target of achieving 20% ethanol blending by 2025. it aligns with this policy and it also used for achieving the targets. Now see, it demonstrates how biofuel policies impacting the agricultural and economic systems, creating both opportunities and challenges. The biofuel policies impacting both agricultural and economic systems. Here it impacting the corn, then exporters became now importers. At the same time, it is creating opportunities as well as challenges. Next, environmental significance. Ethanol production contributes to reducing the carbon emissions and dependence on fossil fuels but may strain agricultural resources. Here it is saying that it may reduce greenhouse gas emissions and also decrease in the fossil fuels, but it strains the agricultural resources. So we require a balance between the renewable energy goals and also agricultural practices. Economic implications. It boosts the ethanol industry and reduces the oil inputs but increases the dependency on corn imports, impacting India's trade balance. By increasing ethanol, we may reduce oil inputs, but here we increasing the imports of corn, impacting the trade balance. So we need a balance domestic production and also import dependencies. How is it affecting the allied sectors like poultry? Poultry and livestock industries face rising input cost, leading to increased prices of chicken and eggs. The input cost of poultry is increasing such that it increases the prices of chicken and eggs, again which creates the inflation in the market. It highlights the interconnections between the agricultural policy and food inflation. Here we can see how policies can affect the agricultural production, inflation, exports and imports. Next, future direction. Encouraging crop diversification, improving corn yields domestically and promoting alternative feedstocks for ethanol like sugarcane and molasses and maize. So now we should focus on diversification of feedstocks for the production of ethanol such that the impact on other allied sectors can be reduced. It suggests the solutions to reduce dependency on imports while maintaining biofuel targets and economic balance. Let's see some questions on this. With reference to India's National Bioenergy Mission, consider the following statements. India has set a target to achieve 20% ethanol blending in petrol by 2025. Yes, statement 1 is correct. The promotion of corn-based ethanol had resulted in India becoming a net importer of corn. Before we was exporter of corn, now we became importer of corn. So statement 2 is also correct. Ethanol blending directly reduces the India's oil import dependency and carbon emissions. Option D 1 to 3 are right. What could be the economic implications of India's push for corn-based ethanol production? Increased input costs for allied industries like poultry and livestock. Yes, it has increased the input costs for poultry. Reduced dependency on fossil fuel imports. Yes. Higher reliance on corn imports from countries like Myanmar and Ukraine. Yes, we are importing corn from Myanmar and Ukraine. And decrease in consumer food inflation. This increases the inflation but not decreases. So option 4 is, statement 4 is wrong. 1 to 3, option A is the right answer. Next, how does promoting biofuels like ethanol contribute to environmental sustainability? First statement, reduction in greenhouse gas emissions. Yes, it will reduce the greenhouse gas emissions. Sustainable management of agricultural residues and biomass. Yes, we can use it for producing biofuels. Enhanced groundwater recharge due to water extensive crops like corn and sugarcane. It depletes the groundwater, not enhances. So, statement 3 is incorrect. Diversification of renewable energy sources. Yes, 1, 2, 4 are right. Option B is the right answer. Next, which of the following correctly describes the impact of India's biofuel policies on its agricultural trade? How it is impacting the agricultural trade? Encourages crop diversification toward non-food crops like bamboo and jatropha. It is incorrect. Leads to reduced imports of agricultural commodities. It increases imports, not reduces, as we saw in the corn imports case. Makes India a net importer of corn due to ethanol production requirements. Yes, it made corn as a net importer. So, option C is the right answer. Next, in the context of India's biofuel initiatives, which of the following feedstocks can be used for ethanol production to reduce reliance on corn? We can use molasses, agricultural residues, bamboo and also sorghum. So, all 4 are correct. Option D is the right answer. That's it for today. Thanks for watching this video. Let's recall everything what we have learned, basics and also current affairs. As energy demand increased and also for environmental challenges, we moved to biofuels. Biofuels are produced from plants, crops and even from waste materials. Based on the raw materials and technology, we divided them into 4 generations. 1G is based on the food, 2G is based on the waste, 3G is based on the microorganisms like algae, 4G is based on the GM technology and also carbon dioxide and green hydrogen conversion into biofuel. These biofuels are blended with petrol and diesel to reduce the pollution and to reduce the dependence on fossil fuels and also to reduce the import cost and also to become self-sufficient in energy, such that we can achieve energy security and which increases the farmers' income, rural development. We have government initiatives like National Policy on Biofuels launched in 2018. It divided biofuels into basic and advanced generations and also it gave some targets to complete and also allowed surplus food to use for biofuels and other ethanol blending program, which also provides targets to achieve. In current affairs, first we saw India has achieved 15% ethanol blending by 2024 and we are targeting towards 20% by 2025. Next, the government has lifted restrictions on cane juice, syrup and B-heavy molasses and asked distilleries to use surplus rice from FCI for the production of ethanol, such that we can achieve the targets of 2025 and also it will reduce the pollution, which reduces the dependence on fossil fuels and also reduces the import cost. These points are same. Next, the Global Biofuel Alliance was formed by India, US and Brazil to share the technology and achieve the global targets and also moving towards the renewable energy. When we also saw 4G ethanol plant, first plant in India, uses technology which converts carbon dioxide and green hydrogen into biofuel. The technology used here is Lance Tech gas fermentation technology and this was established by Indian companies only, not any international organization. And the other topic we saw is impact on sugar and corn. As both sugar and corn used for ethanol production, the availability of sugar decreased for the locals and it also prevented India from exporting sugar in 2024 to 25. We already saw it in 2024 to 25. It may lead to tight supply-demand balance. In the same way, corn exports were also impacted and we became now importer of corn. This increased the prices of the corn, which affected the poultry industry, which affects the global trade also. Just observe how these biofuel policies have changed these products, exports and imports, and also the global trade and the availability of them in country. Don't try to remember everything. Just connect one with the other topic such that you can remember them for longer time. Even in mains, you can recall them very quickly. Thank you for watching this video and I hope this video is helpful for you.